Again, a very warm welcome to everyone zooming in this afternoon, Monday, 4 o'clock here in Bangkok. Thank you all for joining yet another NCCC webinar. And today's theme is all about Thai government's Alternative State Quarantine Program, or ASQ. I'm sure we are all familiar with the term, but are we also all aware of, let's say, the program details and other related matters? Because it's rather a huge and important program, and my feeling it's about to stay for a bit longer than we probably were anticipating a few months ago. The NCC welcomes everyone, not only from the hotel industry. We can see from the participations there are a lot of hotel and service, let's say, suppliers, but also companies, corporations. I assume you want to know more about when you, as a person or your management, ends up in, let's say, an ASQ hotel, and what does it contain? To answer that last question, we have actually our colleague from the Thai, Philip. And Philip, I'm sure most of you know him, has just returned from Belgium in Bangkok, and he's now staying here in Bangkok in an ASQ hotel. So at the end of the presentation, we will also have an opportunity to ask him, as, let's say, one of the persons in imprisonment, about his observations, being one of the participants of the program. Today we have the honor and pleasure to welcome Khun Prin, and Khun Prin is the Executive Assistant Manager of Mövenpick BDMS Wellness Resort here in Bangkok, actually not far from our office here on Wireless Road. Khun Prin, very nice to have you today in our program and for sharing your views on this particular, let's say, Thai government program, which is quite detailed, I was told. And I also was informed you were the first as a hotel, but as a person, to also consult with ministries like Ministry of Health, and in this particular case, Ministry of Defense, about this program. And you're doing that not only from your hotel perspective, but also collectively with, I believe now, even 38 hotels signing up for this program. So also as the president in the consulting towards the Thai government, and then representing the hotel perspective and, let's say, the hotel interest. Now, I'm very pleased having you here. I think the introduction will be done by yourself, who you are, because we can talk very, very long, but people are not interested in my face. We really want to hear from you, Prin. I was told you have 30, 35 to 40 minutes time for your presentation. Questions, ladies and gentlemen, can be asked through the Q&A functionality. I will zoom through and I will probably filter out a few before we will also have Philip in the program. And we hope to finish by around 5 o'clock. After all, we're dealing with a Swiss-run hotel, and time is, of course, of essence there as well. So thank you again, Khun Prin, and a very warm welcome to our NCC webinar. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon and swadikap, everyone. So thank you very much. Give me time, and then I will share the screen with all of you. I think some of you, I saw from the list, some of you might. My name is Prin. I am EAM of the Mövenpick Wellness Resort, and also represent as the first hotel for the ASQ program that the hotel had been established in 26th of April. In that time, I think we are the first one and follow to other in May. And at the moment, I also hold as a president of Alternative State Quarantine, ASQ Thailand Club, to represent 37 hotels to speak to the government and share what we need and what we can for managing this ASQ on behalf of the hotel. So today we have a few topics that we would like to discuss. I would like to keep 30 minutes and move very fast some certain area, right? We have 5 topics today: introduction, preparation, rule regulation, guest expectation, and absolutely what is the next normal in our hotel business, and also how long this is going to be and what is next for ASQ. I would try to keep the balance between the people who are interested in this program as the hotel part, and also for the guests who are interested and would like to know how this program is look like. I think as of today, we all know that the hotel have a lot of, Thailand have a lot of concern based on 21 million people confirmed infected around the world. This data is based on 17 August, 10 a.m., right? So we have 21 million cases confirmed So 5.5 cases in US, and in Thailand, we have a bit more. I mean, look, not bad. I mean, as of today, we have 3,377 cases confirmed based on 16th of August. And ASQ for Thai government, we see this as the gateway that allow the people come back to Thailand, but on the other hand, also make sure that they are safe. We do not want to live without COVID, because now in the reality, you cannot live without it. Every day we might count it as a 0, but you can see that we have a new case every day. A new case is happen in the SQ or ASQ sometime, right? So this is like a gateway to protect and make sure that we can live with it, right, correctly. Yep, and this is the progress of ASQ, when it started and how we're going to moving forward. So in March, we have a scenario of the state quarantine and local quarantine. So state is the place that welcome the people who fly back by the airplane. The local is the people who travel back to Thailand by the land operation, like by car, by bus, by train through the border. And from 26th of April, we have alternative state quarantine that start our hotels. And as of today, 17th of August, you can see that we have another one, alternative local state quarantine. This one is for the ASQ. It's very similar to ASQ, but it location in the different province. Like if you have ASQ in Phuket, ASQ in Samui, in Chiang Mai, it will address as alternative state local quarantine. So this is very similar but different in a bit for the instruction. And as of now, as of today, the commercial flight is still closed. And this is the shortcut for all of you. If you would like to know 11 permit types that can come back and travel back to Thailand. So after Thai nationality, student, the people who holding the work permit, the foreigner who married with the Thai nationalities, and other include all 11. So I will not go deep in detail this, but you can see this QR code in the bottom. If you're interested to know who now are allowed to go back, you can scan that, and then you can look into 11 types of the person who can ask the COE to return to Thailand. Yep, so let's start from the first one, the ASQ preparation. It's very important for everyone who interested, and absolutely for the people who will stay here, you will see how important and what is the key of the hotel, because now we are not operate as the hotel. The important part of ASQ is the hotel is just operator. We are operate the hotel under government, the government Ministry of Public Health, Ministry of Defense. They are regulator. They give us the regulation, do and don't and everything. And yeah, the hotel we are perform according to the regulation. And the most important part I would discuss is about the preparation with the hospital. We are hotel, we have zero experience about the infected prevention, infected precaution. So in order to manage this, the hotel need to sign MOU with the hospital. For our hotel, our MOU is go for the Bangkok hospital, BDMS, which is have 49 hospital around Thailand, 8,500 bed. And yep, we have many hospital under the BDMS. And we are partner with the Bangkok Hospital and Samithiwet Hospital. So this is the program that is designed. This is the flow chart we call the workflow between the hospital and the hotel. If you look into this, it's telling you how the hospital involved and support the hotel in managing ASQ for your stay for 15 days. We have two options for the guests. The guests can stay first night at the hospital, or first night they can stay at the hotel. So if they would like to stay in the hospital, first night they will stay in the specific building that is designed for this program. So it will not miss, the guests will not stay with the hospital patient guests. So we make sure that the guests who are staying one night in the hospital, they stay in isolate building. So that is clean and safe, and also you can meet the doctor But on the other hand, if you prefer to stay at the hotel, absolutely. The first night you can stay at the hotel. The COVID test will conduct on the second day before 12. And all this is the process, right? So first day we have a COVID test. It's called a PCR swab test. And then on the 13th day, you will have another test, also COVID test as well. So minimum requirement for the ASQ program is 2 times in the package. And we have the monitor for your health condition. Every day we will have a nurse visit you in front of your room before 10 a.m. and before 8 p.m. They would not just only say hello, but yeah, they will ask for the body temperatures and monitor your health condition. Do you have any syndrome that relate to the COVID? Because for COVID itself, it's not just only checking your temperature, but there are something that coming up like the sign of the, like a cough, the nose lost the ability to smell, or you might have the stomach ache, and there are many things that they have the list that the nurse will ask you daily, twice a day, to make sure that you have a good, healthy during your stay in the ASQ hotel. And this is our hotel. We have 293 rooms, and we start, at the first stage of the hotel, ASQ, we start from 50 room, 100 room, 150, 200, and as of today, we operate 280 room. Not every room type, right, at the beginning, but at the beginning, we have the wellness suite and also have a superior rooms. As you can see from the picture, this is not actual picture that the hotel offer to the guests, because according to ASQ, you could not have the carpet on the floor. We need to remove the carpet. And the second is we need to reduce the furniture to reduce the touch point for the guests, and also to prevent the issue for the COVID spreading. This is the superior, this is the deluxe rooms. And in our hotel, we make the guests feel special by having all the extra amenity. For example, we have a balance bond, yoga mat, roller for the exercise in the room. We also have the handbook. We have the press reader that you can download all the magazine around the world with your preferred language. We have in the room, we have all amenity like tea, coffee, include the bathroom amenity that can stock for 4 days use in case you do not need the housekeeping. Because basically the housekeeping will go to clean your room every 2 days. That is about building, right? And now we look into the way we need to manage the ASQ for the hotels and for the guests as well. The hotels, we need to have the COVID management team, as this is the structure of our hotel, the COVID management team. So we have the COVID manager is myself, and we also have the assistant. We have a security team, reception team is the front office. One point that I would like to highlight here is the security team. I think most of you will think a security team might respond for the security, but actually our security team leader is managed by our director of HR, because security here is not just only look after the guest in, guest out, but it's about maintain procedure and social distance at the back of the house as well. So this is the first thing that the hotel need to conduct at the hotels. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are hotelier, we are not hospital. So we need to make sure that we have the MOU hospital that you pick to come to the hotel, create the training, guide you how to wear the PPE, not just only wear only, but how to remove. Actually, the COVID have 4 levels of risks. So we have level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4, and uniform will different according to the level that government give us the direction. I will show later about the uniform, but yeah, this is the first thing that everyone need to do. Conduct the training and make sure that everyone in the hotel understand about the COVID precaution, and yeah, you have to live with it. So the team need to understand. And yeah, as I mentioned, you have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So you need to identify each position in the hotels, which department relate to the guest as level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. So for level 1, you can see the level 1 is a high risk. that is the technician and housekeeping team who have to enter to the guest room. Every time they meet the guests and enter the guest room, they have to wear full PPE. The kitchen team, front desk, and the service staff. Service staff is level 4 because by regulation, you don't need to meet face to face with the guests, because the way you serve the food is you display all the food in front of the guest room, and then the guests will pick up by themselves. This is back of the house, right? So it's not just only prepare for the guests, but it's also prepare for ourselves. So all the staff need to be able to access the alcohol gels, and we have daily QR code every day to tracking your staff who work today and what time they come to work, what time they leave the hotel. So you need to have this daily report to make sure that what is the body temperature when they're alive, what is the body temperature when they leave the workplace. So you can monitor them as well. And you can see from the canteen, the elevator, you need to set up all this social distancing. The cleaning also need to implement the cleaning procedure, like public area, what is uniform when they need to clean all the surface, how often they need to clean the surface, so basically every 2 hours. And absolutely you need to know they cannot clean with just normal water, but they can clean with the chemi that approved that it can cure COVID-19, right, the coronavirus. So basically minimum 70% of alcohol, and if you are partner with Ecolab or other like diversity, I'm sure that they can suggest you about all this chemi. Yep, back to another part that you also have to look after your people as well when you are on this. This is the back of the house. I would recommend to look into this. And now I think you understand why I highlight at the beginning that the security leader is not about security team, but it's about director of HR, because you need to implement all this I would say working culture, right? New culture in new normal, to make sure that the office not to be like, you need to have the social distance table set up here. So this is something that you need to look into your building structure, your office structure as well, to make sure that you would be able to implement social distance at the back of the house as well. This is the procedure that you need to guide the housekeeping team, how to clean the room, what they need to care, what they need to highlight when they have to go into the guest room. The most important is when you go into the guest room, you have to make sure that the guests going to wake at the waiting rooms. Some hotel will have relaxed rooms, some hotel is allowed, some hotel will allow the guests to go out at the garden during the cleaning time. So it depends on the hotel structure and condition. Then the way that we need to manage the waste, right? So the most important is the way you manage the garbage. If you are 100% alternative hotel, ASQ hotel, it's very easy because you don't have to separate mass the garbage. You still need to separate the normal and infected garbage anyway. But the infected garbage is not be able to clean by the normal company. So in Bangkok, the officially approved by Bangkok Metropolitans and Ministry of Public Health, the garbage company is called Khun Prin Pathanatham. This one is the professional. They come to, you have to check the schedule with them, but for our hotel, they come every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to pick up and clean all this garbage. And you need to, for the hotel who would like to have this, you need to have the common rooms. The common room is the room that you need to operate and prepare for meeting, inspection, surprise visit with the Ministry of Public Health, Ministry of Defense, or in case you found COVID in a hotel, you might need to operate this room as a war room to operate and conduct all the investigation. Yep, and when you manage this, you need to make sure that the hotel have a flow for all guests when they arrive to the hotel, check in and check out. That this is the sample of the flow when we manage the wing A flow. You can see that from the flow, we have fixed that where is the guest entrance, where the guest can do the check-in, do the swab COVID test, and the hotel have our unique selling point is we have the garden. So all of our hotel guests, after the first COVID test and they get negative result, they could go out for the garden walk 45 minutes, maximum 15 person per round to make sure that we have enough social distancing. this is the way we clean the filter, right? So you need to make sure that the key point of ASQ is you could not operate room assignment back to back. For example, if the guest check out today at 2 p.m., you cannot give this room to the guest at 7, next day at 7 p.m. because you need to have the room 24 hours for cleaning. The first thing you need to do is you need to clean all these filter and also make sure that the room have the airflow, everything. You open the window. So minimum 24 hours for next assignment for the guest room. This is the CCTV monitor. Why we have to monitor? Because the rule of the guest is you cannot leave the guest room except you book the schedule to go out for the garden walk. You cannot walk from room A to room C. You cannot go into the another guest room, because this is the regulation to make sure that you will not share your risks to other guests. For example, if you travel back to Thailand from 1st of April, and your friend might travel back to Thailand on maybe 10th of April, you might be able to leave on the 16th of April, but you're going to meet your guests on 10th of April, stay in the rooms, or you don't wear, all this will create an opportunity that you might be asked by the government to stay and check out at the same day that your friend arrived. For example, if your friend arrived on 10 and they need to check out another 15 days, although you check in on 1st, but you meet your friend there, you might need to check out together on the same time with your friend, which we do not want it to happen. So that's why we need to have this monitor, and we have security team 24 hours to check this, not just only for your friend, but also for prevent yourself as well. It's one of precaution rule and regulation. This is the fire exit for the guests. In case you're sick, right, we also transfer you to the exit. And this is the regulation that we use to check the temperature. For the guests and for our staff, we check temperature all the time. So for the guests, when they arrive at the hotel, the first thing is we check temperature. The staff as well, when they arrive at the workplace, we check the temperature, and even before they leave, when they check out, we also need to check the temperature as well. And we have two systems to check. Infrared and the temperature by ear, which is more accurate. When you're going to use the ear temperature check, when the first you found high temperature by infrared thermometer. This is the arrival experience by the hotel. So when you book everything, when you are at the airport, right? When you arrive at the airport, the hotel will prepare pick up for you. For our hotel is the van. It's maximum 3 persons per van for the social distancing and also for the luggage as well. So when you are arrival, you will have the body temperature check, and after that you will see the EOC team at the airport who will check if you book ASQ, they will separate you to ASQ Hotel A, ASQ Hotel B, ASQ Hotel C. And then when you go out, you will see the staff from each ASQ hotel show the signage of the hotel name, and then you will go with the car. They will have the name and everything to register. So then we'll transfer you from the airport to the hotels or to the hospital according to your program preference. And when you check in here, you can see that when you arrive at the hotel, we need to clean your luggage with 70% alcohol. We have a nurse to meet you for the first assessment to do the register, and then we check in you into the guest room. And as I mentioned, every day, twice a day before 10 a.m. and before 8 p.m. we have a nurse check up in front of your room. We will not enter your rooms. We will ring the bell, and when you access the room, we will just ask you for the body temperature. And the hotel have 24-hour nurse service, so you can call or consult if you might need anything. In case of emergency, we will take care of you. We have ambulance 24 hours as well, and we have additional doctor on call as well. That will make you feel more confident when you have to stay in the hotel for 14 days. This is our highlight. This is our outdoor garden that you can go out every day. This is the area that we do swab. When you would like to do swab, you could not do it in the guest room. So first day and 13th day that you need to do swab with that is all the preparation. This is a quick rule and regulation. The most important part that you need to aware if you would like to book ASQ is ASQ have regulation they call one-on-one. So it means basically all ASQ guests, they need to stay one person per one room. However, they have exceptional for the married couple who have married with certificate, or you travel with kid under 15 years old, or you travel with a senior that need you to take care. And the last one is you travel with special guests who might need special assistance. We are allowed to stay 2 person. And if you are family, like two husband and wife travel with 2 kids, you are able to stay together, but you might need to book a bigger room to make sure that you have a distance and enough space to stay for 14 days. This is the sample of the hotel rule and regulation. It can give you explanation what you can do, what you cannot. This is the most important, and this is most the question that the guests ask. Can their friends send this, send that to the hotel? Basically, you can send the food if it have FDA. You could not send the food by Food Panda or Line Man. However, if it's food is a homemade food can be sent to you by your friend, your family, with someone who can accept on the consent form that they will take response in case of food poisoning or anything that relates for the food that delivered to your rooms. Alcohol is 100% no here, so you cannot, your friend cannot send alcohol, cannot send whatever to the rooms. Medicine, we are trying to avoid the medicine like paracetamol or that relate to the fever, because if you take those medicine, when the nurse comes to check your body temperature, they will never know exactly what is your exactly body temperature, and it can create the miss. Maybe your temperature is 38 already, but after you take the fever medicine, your body temperature might show only 37.5, which is shown as normal. Okay, I wish to go quick for the guest experience, right? I think most of the time guests will relate in the 4 parts: room accommodation, activity, food, and beverage service. I make a quick Q&A here, and I think it's most of the time that the guests who would love to stay at the hotel would like to know more, right? So how do I book my ASQ stay? Right now, we don't have any centralized platform. However, you can book direct with each hotel. You can go to check the list, which hotel is under approved ASQ, and communicate with the hotel directly to make the reservation. When you make the reservation, you might need to inform the hotel about your flight, absolutely passport or Thai ID card, the work permit that you need to present them. And yep, you need to give the credit card for the guarantee, but the payment policy is depend. I could not answer on behalf of other hotels. Some hotel might ask you 100% fully prepaid, right? So this is very important that you have to communicate with your ASQ hotel clearly what is the term and condition for the payment. What is cancellation policy if I can get a flight confirmation or you cannot get issue of COE? Absolutely. Normally you need, our hotel, we offer like a free cancellation more than 14 days. However, they have some cases that we 100% waive. For example, you need to do the COVID test 72 hours before you fly. So if that you found COVID positive, you cannot fly, right? So we will not charge. Or you don't get any approval on COE, we understand we also waive the cancellation charge. But in case of no-show charge, we will charge you 100%. And I think this is fair for everyone because you can inform us in advance if you found COVID or you don't get COE approval. What is a safety precaution can be found at ASQ hotel? This one is depend, not every hotel will have the same standard because each hotel have a different building structure, each hotel have a different term and condition, but most of the time, we would like to make sure that the guests follow our rule and regulation. For example, when you and our staff going into your room, clean the room, we ask you to stay in our waiting rooms, so you will not face to face with the customer and guests and the hotel staff. And when we go to deliver the food, we ring the bell or knock your door, and we would ask you kindly wait for maybe 5 or 10 seconds to make sure that our staff leave the place and you can open the door and pick up the food. And after you finish your meal, you can put all the garbage into the bag and wrap close tight well and put in front of the room. That would help to prevent the COVID for everyone, right? Not just only you, also the hotel guests, and also share the link with other guests as well. So what can I do while I'm staying in the ASQ hotel? Absolutely, most of the time you will be in the rooms. For Mövenpick, you can go out for the garden. You have COVID test on the first day, COVID test on the 13th day. Please make sure that you book the garden in advance. We are allowed to book 1 day in advance. So make sure that you have the time in your mind, because we have to limit only 15 persons. We are sorry that we cannot accommodate everyone on the peak time, because otherwise you will not have the social distancing. Okay, what about the food during ASQ? So normally our hotel and other ASQ hotel will provide 3 meals a day, and you can choose the food like you prefer Thai option or Western option. The hotel, like for us, we have a room service program available with 20% discount. And the hotel have, our Mövenpick have a chocolate which is the brand standard, brand highlight. So we have the chocolate for every guest served with the dinner every day. So there is something special. On the other hand, right, if you would like to have the food from outside, you can ask your friend to deliver the food, but again, you cannot call to order lineman or a food grab. Last, like when you send the food or send something to your room, we always ask to open the box and check what is inside. We apologize for this, but this is the regulation that we need to perform. Otherwise, they might have some guests send alcohol or something that was not around. So we have to check all the luggage when your friend, your family send to your room before we pass to you. What is the restriction that you need to follow during the ASQ, and can my friend and family send to me, right? Go back, your friend and family can send food with FDA, can send the homemade food or whatever that they would like to send, they need to have FDA. And for like shampoo, clothes, everything they can send to your room. But for something we're not allowed, as I mentioned, alcohol, drug, the medicine, yeah, have to do this. What if I need to see the doctor during ASQ? You will can contact with our nurse. Our hotel, we have the doctor on call. So yeah, with additional cost, but for health consultant, you can talk with the nurse. Absolutely, when they see you at the room, it's free of charge. But if you would like to meet the doctor, we can do the doctor on call as well. What happens if you have high temperature? Immediately that you need to check with your condition and directly send you to the hospital. And maybe you are found COVID, or maybe you just have the high fever or dengue fever or whatever that create you the sick to have the high temperature. The hospital will take care of you from that. When you check out, normally you can check out after 6 a.m. from the next day of the COVID test. So some people think if you have COVID negative test, can you check out immediately? According to the rule and regulation, cannot. You have to stay completely 15 nights, 16 days. So you can check out on the day 16 after 6 a.m. And many people ask me, ASQ is always about 14 days, right? But why I have to stay 15 nights? Because the way that government count is they count the first day as the day 0. So the second day they count as the day 1. That's why you need to stay 15 nights, 16 days. Yeah, this is a quick summary of rule and regulation, right? So when you book ASQ, you need to make sure that you have all this information, and when you book, you can inform the hotel that you would like to stay, smoking, non-smoking. If you say you're married, you need to have married with certificate. And yeah, if you would like to stay more than one kid with 3 or 4 person, the room size have to be bigger. This is I showed this already, so I will skip this. And this is our hotel atmosphere, right? The garden, the yoga mat, the very nice waterfall. So you will feel relaxed every day, 45 minutes, and you can relax, read the book, spend your time with the, I mean, some people enjoy feeding the fish. So this is what you can do at our lovely garden. And this is the way we serve the food, right? We are so sorry that we really cannot be too much green and love our earth, because the food we have to serve in this disposable equipment. However, every guest have an option. You can inform the hotels that if you prefer to have all the cutlery, the coffee cup, the water glass as normal, and we give you the washing liquid, and then you can clean and help us to protect and love reduce the number of plastic in your rooms. Yeah. So for the people who think about how long ASQ will stay with us, I think most of us already aware that government already announced that the commercial flight might be postponed until the beginning of next year. This is something that I could not say anything because we do not have a full information in writing. But now we know that it's confirmed until 31st of August and likely to extend. And now we still have a lot of people who would like to travel back to Thailand, the Thai people, the guests with work permit. The thing that now is on progress is the people who come with EEC, Eastern Economic Corridor, the BOI for the factory, for the specialist people who come from the outside Thailand, right? And the corporate company need to keep as normal. And next is the people who holding Thailand elite, and also the people who hold the property in Thailand. So they will need to come back. And if you go back to my first slide, you can see the 11 types of the people who can travel back. If you scan that, you already see that they have the list of the people who are holding the property or married with Thais that now approved to travel back. And this is ASQ coming for the next in the future. So we have now alternative hospital quarantine, alternative local quarantines, and in the future, I would say from October, likely that state quarantine and local quarantine will transform to be alternative state quarantine and alternative local quarantine. What is different between alternative and normal state and local is local quarantine and state quarantine is 100% paid by government for all Thai nationality. Alternative is 100% paid by the self-paid. So it's for the foreigner, for the expat who like to return to Thailand. And now you can see that the hospital already set up for this. And I'm sure that they might have a more that now under discussion, like a organization quarantine that is managed by one organization to accommodate all the staff in the factory or in the industry area. That is all for alternative state quarantine, and I hope you enjoy my presentation, and I give this back to Q&A section.
Well, thank you very much, Khun Prin, for enlightening us. And I think now we all know this is not just a program, this is really, really detailed. Talking about that, I could imagine that participants zooming in would like to share, let's say, the slides. Is that possible, Prin, that we can get copies of your presentation and then communicate that amongst our Zoomers? Is that okay, Khun Prin, for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This is also now the time for a Q&A, and we will try to set up, like I said earlier, a link with Philip, who is currently in program across the river at one of the other hotels. While we set up his link, Khun Prin, I have a question already for you. I see there's a lot of investment in, let's say, the program you have to do, training of the staff, buying stuff. Is this being compensated in whatever way by the Thai government? The reason why I'm asking, what do you recommend, let's say, hoteliers, GMs, owners who might consider participating in this program? Is this financially something you can really encourage, or, well, what's your view on this?
In my opinion, right? I mean, when you manage ASQ, you will not able to expect the room profit as what it had to be when you are managed as the hotel. I would say it will not high profit, but yes, it's have a profit. However, you need to bear in mind that there have many things that you need to invest, like you need to do the PPE, you need to make sure that you have the training in place, absolutely infected waste management. The garbage is not same price that you manage with the normal, garbage, right? And absolutely the high risks that you need to manage and invest. For example, you need to, if your hotel have the carpet floor and you would like to go for ASQ, you cannot operate the room with carpet floor. You need to cover with the rubber or, with the wood. So that is something that you need to think. And, except that, I would say it's quite investment. If you have 200 rooms, you need to change all the carpet to become rubber floor. You need to think about that.
Yeah, clear. Some investment. A quick question from Rob, who is also having his camera on. Rob, hi, from Hua Hin all the way. Can people use the balcony, Khun Prin?
After the first COVID test, you can use balcony. First COVID test first.
Okay, so that would probably for Rob, are you a smoker? That's the reason why you asked this? Okay. Anyway, Philip, I see your camera is not unmuted, but your microphone is. Hi, Philip.
Hello.
Let me introduce you for the ones who are not familiar with Philip. Philip is my colleague from the Belgium-Luxembourg Chamber of Commerce, and you just arrived into Thailand a few days ago, and you're currently in an ASQ hotel, the Anantra Riverside, across the river. I have asked you to share a bit of your experience in, let's say, the process before flying and then flying into Thailand, arrival at the airport, and also the couple of days you're staying here. So we want to hear the good and the bad, Philip.
Thank you. Thank you, Hans, for inviting me. And thank you, Khun Prin, for your very detailed presentation. And it is exactly the way you said that it is actually going. The documents you have to prepare prior to flying, and I flew with my 11-year-old daughter, who is a Thai national. It's two different sets. There is the set for the daughter, who doesn't have to do a COVID test prior to flying into Thailand. There is me, who had to do a COVID test. Then there's a questionnaire. A little handicap was that the questionnaire for my daughter was entirely in Thai, and I do not speak Thai. So that was a bit of a hassle. I must say the cooperation with the consulate went extremely well. They're very helpful, and it was all very, very clear what to do. So it is a bit of paperwork, but that's what it is. Registration with the hotel, I registered first with your hotel, Khun Prin, and that went very well. Then I got a message from the consulate that my flight was delayed or changed to another flight 5 days later. And of course, your hotel was full again. So then you have to go out and hunt and look for a new hotel, which is not easy because a lot of the hotels are full. So that was a bit of a challenge to find a new hotel. But once again, the consulate has been very helpful to indicate that the Anantara Riverside was also an option, which was not in the original list. But you have to do all the questionnaires again. So one point you touched, Khun Prin, was there should be a central reservation system. I think that's that's a necessity. Going to the airport, checking in, all that went very smoothly. We flew out of Frankfurt because the flights are centralized at certain spots. So that went all very, very good. And the way you are entering Thailand went very, very smooth. It was very efficient, very fast, because that was a bit of a question we had. How long is that going to take? But that went, as you said, very, very efficient, very fast. I think we were out in the van after just over an hour between landing and being in the van. So very good. And then experience at the hotel is very comparable to what you explained in your presentation, Khun Prin. And that's it. Any questions?
So how do you feel? Are you able to walk around every day as well, enjoy the balcony? What's in your particular hotel? What do you feel limiting yourself, or are you not in that process?
Yes, well, through friends, we did get a very good room here at the hotel, so it's kind of big, so that's fine, because with an 11-year-old, it's not that easy. But happily, TikTok and Robux exist. A balcony can be used here as from the first day, so that's a bit different to your hotel. All the rest, what Khun Prin explained is correct. You, after the first COVID test, the next day after the COVID test, you can go to the relaxation zone, which is along the river, for 1.5 hours. The food, as after the first COVID test, is served in China and real cutlery, so no more the plastic stuff. So it's very comparable, and it works very well. It's what you have to do, so it's actually fine.
Great, thank you. In the meantime, we have a few practical questions. Thank you, Achin, for raising that one. Question to you, Prin. Does the hotel or the hotels in general serve vegetarian food? And also about laundry, how do you manage the laundry?
We have a laundry service, and all the guests get 20% off for laundry. But if you don't want to use the laundry service, you can ask your friend and family to send your clothes to the hotel. You can pick up the clothes and send to your room, but we not allow you to send the clothes out of the room.
Clear.
Yes, you can request vegetarian food.
Okay, and talking about cleaning, the rooms, do they get cleaned daily, or do you get given linen and towels to manage yourself during quarantine?
Every 2 days we will clean the rooms, but before you have the first COVID test, we will not enter your room. So after you get the first COVID test, every 2 days we will clean your room.
Okay, every other day. And all the other F&B hotel operations, are they allowed to, let's say, outside hotel guests, or is everything closed in the hotel?
For our hotel, 100% ASQ, so everything closed except Lim Kong Cafe, which is located separate from the main building, that is operate. But all the restaurant in the building we close because we are 100% ASQ hotel.
Mm-hmm. This is perhaps not a question, but Andre van der Mark is remarking that Philip, your daughter, has not been tested, right? It's a bit strange. How does that feel? Prin, maybe also a question to you.
She has been tested here at the hotel. What you need before flying, and it's a fit to fly at the station from your own doctor. Which is, well, I would have understood or that she would have had a test as well before flying.
Is she Thai nationality or?
Thai. She's Thai.
Then this is very clear, because according to the government policy, all Thai nationality will require only fit to fly. All the foreigner need to do the COVID test, PCR 72 hours before you leave. And this is policy.
Now, coming to mind, I'm Dutch, of course, and stingy as Dutch we are. Isn't then your daughter, Philip, being Thai nationality, then you stay in your daughter's room for free because the government pay, right? Or is this not the case? You understand my remark, right? Philip, you need to unmute, sir. Let me, Philip. Khun Prin, did you understand my remark about being Thai and he is then?
Here I am. No, that's wishful thinking, Hans. That's not the way it works.
Okay. Understand. Another question, but a remark basically from Thanos. Thanos, thank you for joining that. Compliments Khun Prin for all the support you and your team has given. I think what I understand, this is not light material for any operator hotel considering this program. And that's maybe a general question I have, Khun Prin. You mentioned 37 hotels currently. What is your view, let's say, in 1 or 2 months? Will that be drastically improved to more than 100 hotels, or do you feel, nah, not every hotelier, not every owner feels comfortable in this particular program, or don't even want to consider participating? What's your view? What do you see as a trend?
In my opinion, right, I think now, as you can see, that when I start this in April, I mean, we have only 10 hotel, 9 hotel for almost 2 months. And suddenly it's become now 38, because I think Thai people, government, and also business section, they know already that we need to live with COVID. We cannot live without COVID. And by living with COVID is, you need to adapt the business scenario and also adapt yourself as well. As you can see that we need to change the hotel culture about social distancing in back of the house and everything, because we all know you cannot live without it. You just need to live with it. And for the business itself, you can see progress of for example, if you are operate as the hotel, you see that the commercial flight is keep postponed every month. And you know it will not happen in September. And you know it's going to postpone in October. And look at the number of the people who would like to come back. Absolutely. This will carry on, and I would say this is the reason. And the government themselves, they would like to increase the number of the ASQ inventory up to 5,000. Why? Because they know they will keep this for long. They will not cancel this for next 1 month or next 2 months. And on top, you can see that now they go in Phuket, they go in Samui, they go in Chiang Mai, they go to the border area like Nong Khai, go border area like Sa Kaeo. Why? Because they would make sure, I'm sure that they will do this. And what they are concerned now is what's going to happen when the winter season coming.
Thank you, clear. Another question came in, Andre. Thank you for raising that question. There might be potentially a guess with COVID. We know how COVID has also spread to aircon systems. This might not be available for any hotel if let's say the filter systems are not up to a certain standard. Now I know your hotel has been completely rebranded more than a year ago up to the latest standards. So how do you manage potential, let's say, filter issues through the aircon units from one room or to the other?
I think this is very important for the air centralized, right? They have 2 centralized systems. The centralized that recycle the air or just blow the cold air into the room. So if the centralized air is just blow the cool air into your room, not recycle or take the AC back into the system, they could operate as ASQ. But if your AC in other way around, the government will never approve.
Clear. And you mentioned government, you mentioned Ministry of Defense. I was informed by other hoteliers who felt like actually the ministry is completely taken over the operation, even telling a hotel GM, what are you doing here? You don't need to be here. We are in control. Is that really the case in your hotel as well?
I think the hotel, right? Government is a regulator. We are operator. I'm sure that if the first highlight that we say, okay, the hotel need to be here, is go back to where that the government manage state quarantine. That is, they have the hotel staff just only serving the food. Everything, army do everything from security. But alternative state quarantine is all 100% private sector manage this according to the government regulation.
Clear.
So we still have to be here.
Yeah, we need to follow that, and the Thai government is very strict and want to keep the 0 number, right? Well, we can have long discussions about that. If somebody still has further questions, please feel free to raise them now. We are about to close this webinar. I have one personal question for you, Khun Prin. Knowing your hotel quite well, actually, we hosted a sustainability forum last year, so we have dealt with you and your colleagues. If you can choose between the normal way of operating a hotel where you have to spend a lot of marketing and a lot of money on staff and departments, F&B, or your current situation where basically you're filling your rooms, your 280 rooms are guaranteed full, what do you prefer?
Absolutely. As a hotelier, we would like to go back to operate as normal if situation allow us to do that. But as of today, as we stand now with the COVID situation, I'm happy to be here. And if I have more than this, if I have 500 rooms, I'm happy to operate 50% ASQ and 50 hotel as a normal. Because now it's not time for us to say we cannot, we like to live with zero COVID. In fact, we have to live with it.
Well, I think that's an important remark, because that is, I think, where the discussion is now getting into how long can Thailand keep the borders closed. So a question to you, Prin, you're quite into the mix, and although you mentioned we are not sure that CAAS approval, when do you think you can welcome a tourist again from whatever part of the world into your hotel?
My personal opinion, I would say next year. But I could not confirm when, Q1 or Q2. But I think it depends on the situation and also global pandemic as well. If you can see the bounce in the winter is not coming yet in Asia, right? We need to see that. And I'm sure the government keep the eye on that as well.
Q1, Q2, we're talking 1st April, we're talking end of June. This can be, like you mentioned, maybe another 9 months.
Or maybe 1st of January, we open.
That's then maybe a more positive note for the hoteliers watching, right? Yeah, Philip, any last remarks from your end? After 14 days, do you feel like, well, I think I will extend another 2 weeks if it's offered free of charge?
No, thank you. No, going back to Khun Prin, I think he's right. I think if you're operating a hotel, you want it to be under normal conditions, because it looks kind of sad to walk around, to go to the relaxation area and seeing all the activities closed, the pool closed, the restaurant closed, the bar closed, the fitness area closed. It's a bit a sad view. So I do understand what you're saying. It's more fun to operate an hotel under normal conditions. Thank you for the seminar or the webinar, Hans. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and it's a very interesting and actual topic, actually.
Well, thank you very much for those remarks, Philip. It's nice having you back into Thailand again. You know, we work together with the Dutch in the Benelux area. It's also nice to have a large group of viewers still with us until now. But most and foremost, Khun Prin, very thank you, big Mark, for sharing all your insights and all your, all the program details. We have a tradition to give presents to our guest speakers. So I'll make sure that we will drop by, and most likely it will be a very nice mask, because after all, safety first, and like that. But I probably will put another bottle of some juicy, whatever it will be. Thank you all for participating. Thank you, Khun Prin, and everyone zooming in. Keep tuned for any more webinars we will be organizing in the coming weeks. And I wish you all a very lovely rest of the afternoon, evening, and see you next time. Bye-bye from the NCC.